G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We're here on the brand new expansion for Age of Empires 4. This is the Sultan's Ascent. We got a great matchup for you today. A new civilization, an old civilization, and a hell of a lot of fun, I'm sure. Spawning in on the north side of the map, playing as the Chinese in the color blue. Divine DFP. And on the south side of the map, in the color green, playing as the Japanese, we've got Melathorn. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dry Arabia. We're here on the brand new expansion, looking forward to some absolutely amazing games, and I'm confident we're going to see it out today. We've got an absolutely beautiful matchup. I love these two civilizations, and if you enjoy seeing these two civs, or in fact, even just one of them, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, notifications, comments, ding, 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 all that good stuff. Let's get into it. We have ourselves a stone outcropping opening this morning. Tell you what, I'm excited about this. This means we're at least seeing two TCs. And I think DFP is going to have come out here. Has he scouted that one up just yet? Doesn't look like he spots the opening, but I'm sure he can infer from his opponent's civilization exactly what is on the menu today, because I don't know about you guys, but every single Japanese game I've been playing them, or playing up against them, it's been the exact same story today. Now, one of the things that you will notice here is Divine DFP has put his mill underneath the town center. And I was actually watching a Twitch stream the other day, and somebody said, why did you put your mill underneath the town center? What's the whole deal with this? Well, let me bring you up to speed, because all of you Juicy Legacy players, all of you Chinese players out there, you should be looking at this. A sheep has got 250 food in it. A berry bush has got 250 food in it. 6 berry bush equals 6 sheep. Here we have 6 sheep. There's 3 on the ground as well. And there's still plenty more that are going to be captured, or I guess you could say captured, I guess, herded. Because they are herdable sheep. They're going to be herded throughout the course of the game. Now, these sheep are going to last a while. If you think about these as berry bushes, you've got 6 here and then another 3 underneath. So that's 9, 11. Can you imagine what a berry bush of 11 looks like, or a patch of 11 berries looks like? If we take a look here down in the back, this is a patch of 8. So 11 would be another 3 here. The point is that this is a lot of resources. And there's no reason why you have to commit to a mill out on the berries. And you might be wondering, Drongo, well, you know, you might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone. If you're going out and having a party over on the berries, well, why waste the food, why waste the wood on the mill? And the whole idea is this. What if my enemy sets up an outpost right here? What if a cavalry comes in to attack me? What happens if my enemy decides that they don't want me to get that food? And so it just makes it a lot easier to keep those sheep underneath the town center. And the reason why we do this is because we've got the Imperial Official. That extra 20% is coming through. You can see instead of dropping off 10s, we're dropping off 12s. And that's really important. On top of that, it also reduces the distance that our Imperial Officials got to walk for these drop-offs, instead of walking all the way out to the production or the resource building and then walking back to the town center. You just have to stand and chill. And another important thing to note is that the game is actually bugged. Shift Q, the patch for some reason has reverted it, and now Shift Qs don't work anymore. They can in some circumstances, but if you've got a high, if you're clicking very quickly and if you're playing on a server with any kind of ping above 100, you will notice it. And essentially, if you tell your Imperial Official who's out here to collect the gold and then go back to the town center and then come back out to the mill and supervise, she won't get that middle step. All he's going to do is he's going to stand on the mill, collect the gold, and then just start supervising the mill again. So that's just one thing. You know, it's like you don't want it to happen to yourself, so you just stop it from happening in the first place just by doing that. So that's essentially it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Age up's coming through. We got the Barbican coming in on the back here for Divine. He's looking to throw it down between the gold and the stone. Bit of an awkward spot. This is part of the reason why I love having my stone in a forward position when I'm playing the Chinese, because you really get to take advantage of that Barbican. You know, if you've got the stone out here, you can throw the Barbican in a really juicy spot, like right there, boom. You know, it's dominating. But obviously in this situation, oh, Daimyo Manor already through. Keep in mind the extra arrow from the Daimyo Manor could be the difference between life and death for this scout. So we'll have to keep that in mind. But yeah, essentially it's nice to actually get double function. Here the Barbican will serve a function. It's just it probably won't come into play until maybe when a raid shows up, something like that. Whereas this on the front, you're going to have to get through this if you want to mess with the beast on the back. Anyway, age ups are coming through. Expect to see that Song Dynasty any second now for DFP, as he's going to look to put down the Imperial Academy. Let's give this one a rating. What's he going to be hitting here? He hits the mill. I don't think he's going to be hitting the lumber camp from there. Actually, oh no, I think it's right outside the lumber camp's radius. I feel like you probably could have just come down and put it in right here, but it's still decent in that it's in the middle of the stone. So that's not too bad, but we've now got that second town center on the way coming through for DFP now. Of course, looking for that Song Dynasty as well. Very important to hit both of those markers. And let's right on board now with Melathorn as the age up is about to come through. Boom, baby, there she goes. Beautiful little spot that he's got here. And I love the way that he's positioned his Kura storehouse. This makes a lot of sense. You can see that by positioning it here, he's going to be able to access the wood without the need for a lumber camp. On top of that, his farms, instead of spawning out on this corner, are going to be spawning towards this top side and then rotating their way around. And guess what? By the time he eats through all of this wood, your farms are then going to be able to spawn on that position. So really nice. And we see that second town center already getting thrown down here. Now, he's gone for a pretty greedy opening, I will say. I don't think we've got the Tawara upgrade. Indeed, we do not have Tawara just yet, but we do have that 300 stone upgrade from the Daimyo Manor. We've also got the upgrade from the town center. I'm always on the fence about it, but I feel like it's probably better to avoid going for the Daimyo Manor early. Until you've at least started to build up those farm numbers, because you've got sheep for a good while here underneath the town center, and this is a competitive gather rate where you don't really need to worry too much about being on farms early, and because of that, I don't think you need that extra 25%. I'd almost be tempted to say, and I'm kind of surprised this hasn't caught on yet, but Japanese 3TC. I feel like Japanese 3TC, unironically, could be legit as F, because, well, I mean, 3 TCs is better than 2, right? Well, in most cases it is. There are a couple of situations, like with the Chinese, where 2 TCs is actually better than 3. It's a weird mathematical thing, but essentially the power that you get from that third TC is significantly diminished. But anyway, let's get to it, because we got upgrades on the way. Tawara coming through for our Japanese player, Wheelbarrow coming through for DFP on the Chinese, and plenty of villagers beginning to make their way over towards that wood line. Looks like he's going to be happy with the 2 town centers for the moment. See that scout on the map returning to base. Only a single scout in tow, but an early, just a casual game at this stage. Not a casual game, but a passive game at this stage. No one particularly interested in pushing the envelope early with aggression. And I mean, look at this, right? 3 landmarks and a town center walk into a bar. And the barman says, "Why are you guys standing so close to each other? There's plenty of space around here." And, I mean, that's precisely it. Is that a granary already coming down? Wow. Some early farm transition. I think DFP might be confused about the civilization that he's playing here. This is normally what you see coming through for Juicy's Legacy. This is a really early farm transition at the back of the base here from DFP, but I do like this. I do like this a lot. The only thing that I'm critical of is that it's going to slow down your timings. It's going to slow down your castle age. It's going to slow down picking up the relics. It's going to slow down, you know, getting your lances out on the field. It's going to slow down your walls. There's so many things that it's going to slow down just because you've decided to throw down. Like, it's a fair bit of resources. 150, that's 300, that's 450 resources. That could be resources that you're instead putting on the castle train. So you got to think about it from that perspective as well. It's part of the reason why we see players like Beastie often look to put their second town center over on top of the deer. Even when they're playing a civilization like the Chinese, where you want to try and maximize the efficiency you've got, it just, you get extra efficiency by putting the town center there. You save on the 50 wood for the mill, and you also save on the walking distance for those villagers. But we now start to see Melathorn looking to stack up quite... Oh, are we actually seeing it? No, surely not. I feel like going into the specialized pick, noticing the fact that he doesn't really have a lot of villagers on wood, I don't think he's going to go for 3 TCs, but he might. He like, I foreshadowed it before, unintentionally, but it might happen. Look, I love the way that this can attack through the walls, by the way. Have a look at that. Look at the spin. DFP doesn't even realize. He's like, oh, you're attacking me over the wall. Okay, sure thing. Jump into, hit the village. Get in the box. Who was it? There was a comedian, and he did a routine where he said, "Get in the box" as his routine. He had somebody from the audience who was literally, he was trying to get them into a box. Who was that? Who was that comedian? I remember it was a guy that yelled a lot in his thing. I don't know. How do you feel about yelling as part of a comedy routine? I think it's okay for emphasis. But, I mean, you guys know I do enjoy my my comedy. I've been really enjoying Shane Gillies recently. It has been so funny. You know, when you kind of get stuck in the algorithm, you watch one video from a comedian for like longer than 30 seconds, and then YouTube's like, hey, serve this guy up a little bit more. And all you get for the next 35 days is just like videos of this guy on different channels. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. It's hilarious. It's wonderful to see, but it's also a little bit weird just how they know you so well. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time, because we've got ourselves a build-up beginning to occur right now. Have a look at this. 343 stone in the bank. He could look for that. It's going to be a farmhouse, but I feel like you could throw down the third TC right here. He's got the resources in the bank for it. Just give him a second here. Cancel the farmhouse. Throw down the third TC. That's what I'd be thinking right now. I tell you what, Japanese 3 TC. When's it going to happen? That's what I need to know. Because I reckon there's potential for it. Jugunu numbers starting to build here. Melothorn looking to try and get into the base, but you can see that DFP was thinking about going for Castle Age, and the fact that he's been forced off this gold is going to be difficult for him now to recover from that. He might have to spend a little bit of time in the feudal age. Idle villagers out here already. You can see he's got these walls up, but unfortunately not completed just yet, and this is the consequence. You know, we talked about it earlier, the fact that when you go for these farms, you're delaying your castle age, just delaying your lances, delaying your relics getting picked up, and delaying your walls. Well, we now see the consequence of delayed walls. He does get this one at the back, though. This is a nice little wall. Katana Bannerman's back here as well. What's Melothorn looking for? Let's take a look and see. As on the front, it just looks like it's going to be a huge amount of racks, but no units in queue to me. That's going to be a castle age coming through very, very soon for Melothorn here. So, a nice little spot that he's got. Daimyo Mena. No Daimyo Palace just yet. Has he upgraded the second one? He has upgraded the second one, which always makes me scratch my head a little bit seeing players upgrade the second one. If you got farms underneath it, go for it. But otherwise, you're just kind of spending stone on... I mean, you get the Daimyo spot, right? Or Daimyo. You get the Daimyo spot. That's about it. Nothing else too exciting, though. All right. Well, Divine now. Still looking towards that castle age. He's going to start researching some of the technologies available to the Chinese. Imperial examinations coming through. Survival techniques on the way. And up towards that top side. Pressure slowly being put on that palisade wall. You can see he might need to send a villager out. Oh, tell you what, he's got a fair few villagers, though. Looking for it. Interesting that he doesn't opt for this position, but now once again being forced off the gold. It is a nice little position that Melothorn's found up here. And this is the consequence of going for the Barbican over on the stone versus, you know, in the middle of these two. It's one of those difficult things where it's like, do I commit to one of them or do I go on both? Because the stone is really important initially. But once that stone has been, well, at the end of the day, like once you've gathered your 350 stone, you're fine. You're all about that gold. And now that awkward spot kind of sits here. Oh, he's gone for the triple granary. Okay. All right. I respect it. Floating gate coming up. Let's see where he looks to put the first of the Yoroshiros as they begin to come in. Melothorn, we right on board. Oop, there we go. A little bit of a mistake for me. Picks up the first one. Town center. Forge. Throwing it in the forge on the front. Okay. Not a bad move. Gets that little bit of extra gold coming through. Jugunu numbers starting to build here, but you're castle age now, so realistically, you don't have to worry too much about it. Second Yoroshiro. He's going to come back for it now. Looking to pick it up. No, he's going to go straight out for a relic. Doesn't even bother with the second Yoroshiro. All right, respect to the guy. He knows what he's here for. Starting to look to take control of the map. Now, has he picked up Tawara and Takazaiku? Let's have a look. He has. So he's only got Fudasashi remaining. He could be looking to come out onto these berries. Remember, these are really, really good quality food sources. These are better than the deer. Even with survival techniques, I'm pretty sure the berries actually work out better. Actually, I could do the number on that right now. Hold on, I'm gonna do it. If it's 0.825 on here, and you get 25% with survival techniques, and actually, no, you know what? It's better. The deer are better. I take it all back. The deer are better until you get Fudasashi. Once you get Fudasashi, then the berries get better again. It's all about maths. But now we start to see an age up on the other side. Oh, yeah, you can see. This is what... I was going to say this before, but I didn't want to. But you know what? Let's do it. This is good to see. This is important. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because we're stacking up our Yoroshiros into the back of our base. And now this was something I specifically mentioned when the Japanese were first revealed. I said, okay, one of the big things I suspect you're going to see players do, they're just going to build a whole bunch of forges in the back of their base, away from everything else, and then just look to wall them up. Just prevent enemies from coming through there. Stonewall them if you're up against the Chinese, which he is up against the Chinese today because you have to be cognizant of fire lancers. At the moment, it might not seem like a threat, but you got to remember, if the Yoroshiro dies, or if the building dies, the Yoroshiro dies. So putting these forges in the back of your base to keep those Yoroshiros safe is a really smart idea. Let's see exactly how he looks to play it, though, because he doesn't really have room for stone walls back here. There's the second Yoroshiro, but getting picked up. That's why I was objecting somewhat to this one at the front. I like it in the forge, just not on the front. Because if it's on the front, then it's a little bit dangerous. Because it's exposed, right? If Divine pushes in here and you lose this forge, well, you're in a bit of a bad spot. Numbers starting to build up, though. And look at what he's going for. It's just a full melee composition. Exactly what we see out of the Holy Roman Empire. Exact same style. This is the new Holy Roman Empire civilization. It's interesting, though. I think that's what's so great about the Japanese. It's such a beautiful blend of Holy Roman Empire and English. It's like the English farms together with the Holy Roman Empire infantry or army mass. I think that's what makes it so beautiful. But speaking of beauty, look at the north of side of the map. Have a look at this right here. We've got ourselves some walls beginning to build, and I love this. There's nothing... You guys know I'm a big boomer when it comes to it, and there's nothing more I love than just backing myself into the corner and being like, all right, I'll see you in 20 minutes. Let's see what you got. And that's exactly what Divine does here, and he's starting to build up a nice little number of units here. Crossbows have been added in, which is exactly what he needs. At this point, the Jukunu, I feel like you can almost throw them away. I'd be tempted just to walk over to the enemy side of the map and see what I can disrupt. See if there's anything out there on the field that I can potentially annihilate. Villagers, I'm looking at you. All right, well, speaking of villagers, at the moment, up about 15, 16 villagers, as you would expect from Song Dynasty. You're going to be slightly ahead in the Song Dynasty, so I think going for that third TC is definitely the right call, but now we start to see farms getting added in. Might be a bit awkward when he decides to put farms down in this position because all the sheep bodies are here, sheep carcasses rather, are here. Which, by the way, you can trade with them, but it's an unknown activation. It's one of those little Easter eggs. So he's going to have to remove them the old-fashioned way. And one of the awkward things about this is that by removing it the old-fashioned way, you're not on an optimal source of food here. Sheep don't get any bonus from the Daimyo Palace. They don't get any bonus from Fudosashi, from Musashi, from Takazaiku, from... What's the first one? Fedora? No. Fedora. No. Tawara. I got it eventually. You don't get any sheep bonus from those. They only give a bonus to the berries, and then you get a bonus to the food. And then obviously you get a bonus from the hunted animals with survival techniques, but no bonus ever comes through for the sheep. Maybe that's something that they could look at buffing for the Japanese. You know what? Japanese don't need any more buffs. They're pretty good. They're pretty buff as it is. I think the balance for the Japanese is quite decent at the moment. I think they've got some good matchups on some bad matchups, but definitely I feel like at the stronger, they're quite strong at the lower levels just because you don't have to micro the army. Like, it's literally just a move, click, go. It's Protoss all over again. But numbers really starting to build here. We'll check in with that Yorishiro. It's come through. He's picked it up. He's going to throw it in the back here, looking to put it in another forge. This is going to be the third forge he's gone for right now. Keep that in mind. There's a lot of passive gold on his side of the map now. He's picked up 3 relics. He's got 2 more on the way in and forges. He's got 3 of them packed. So all of this gold coming through is passive. And speaking of passive, let's make sure we switch that income over as Divine looks to be heading towards the Imperial Age. Bit of a curious position for him as he begins to push out onto the map. I guess just preventing sacred sites from being taken. Stonewall's looking to come up. Expect him to start fighting over big gold veins shortly. As we can see, both players looking to get out onto the map and start taking it. All right, well. Divine now, looking for that Imperial Age. Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? He's looking to put it down. I can smell it. We don't see the... There, that's where it's going. Okay. All right. It's funny. You can't really smell it, but then once it comes, it's, yeah, it's there. All right. Okay. Little bit of a fight beginning to brew. I can smell it. I tell you what, my spider senses have been on point today, haven't they? All right, you're gonna get kited away here. Divine's got to be careful. Melathorn, he's looking pretty strong in this position, and we're going to enter into the cinematic mode as both players are looking to reach that population capacity. Springald comes out. Nesta B's teeing off towards that top side. Not going to find too much of a connection there as the Mounted Samurai doing a bit of a run by, looking to clean up any of the siege that they can. And look at the Nesta B's actually finding really good value here. The question's going to be about whether he goes for that landmark in the middle of the map. If he gets it up, it's going to be feeling really good about himself. The problem is, I don't think he's got the units to defend it. And Melathorn definitely doesn't either. Look how many units are out here for the Japanese today. I tell you what, he brought everybody, didn't he? He brought the whole township. All right, well, he did want to try and get this landmark up in the middle of the map. Not going to have space, not going to have time, and definitely not going to have the ability to get that up there. So what is his option now? He's going to be looking to produce out plenty of units, crossbows together with spears. Definitely the wiser choice. You know, earlier we mentioned the Jukunu, the fact that they were kind of a throwaway unit once you reach the Castle Age, and we could see that reason demonstrated exactly why in that fight. You don't even notice them. The only thing that you see is just the unit dying. That's it. Maybe a couple bolts, and that's because you've got your armor upgrades at this stage. You know, you're running around with 6 armor. Every unit you've got is armored. Horseman's got their armor as well. You know, everyone's having a good time. But now, DFP looking to try and hold against his opponent. Villagers going to be scrambling to anywhere they can to try and hold out for a little bit of defense. The crossbow numbers are supreme in this position. Never make it even past the choke points. Really well held there by Divine. You can see the difference the crossbow makes towards that top side. They're just going to turn to farms instead. That's where we'll get our value. We'll burn down the farms. That'll do it. That won't do it. We got to find villagers at this stage because Divine's still got a lead. He's only lost 5 bills at this point. So he's having himself a pretty good recovery. The rewall coming in behind this as well. Very nice for him to be doing this. He's got the APM at the moment, that's for sure. 5 relics in the bag. Yorishiro. Next one about to come through. 4 seconds to go. Expect to hear that sound. Here it comes. There you go. It was a little bit of a Yorishiro sound, and then I think the sacred site being captured as well. So we didn't get to hear it, you know, all of its glory. But Uma Veneman gonna go down here. And the last of this is cleaned up. Now, we've talked about it before. We're talking about it again. If you are putting down farms in your base, you want to make sure that your villagers have got a drop-off point close by. You do not want to be going 1, 2, 3, 4 farms deep on a diagonal on the drop-off. And you definitely don't want to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 farms deep. That is a long way to drop off your food, ladies and gentlemen. Do not do it. Don't let your friends do it. If you see your friends doing it, call them out. Say, hey, put a mill in, John. Jongo talked about this in his recent video. He said, make sure you put a mill down near those farms. Do not let them. You want your mills and farms should be best friends. Okay, they shouldn't be strangers. You should have them trying to touch each other. You know, be a little bit feely with each other. That's how it should be. Keep gets thrown up. He says, no more attacks on this angle, my friend. Not today. Keep in mind, he could look to throw that landmark in the center. To be honest, it's not really a good landmark spot. If he tries to put it there, it's kind of meh. Doesn't defend anything. I mean, it defends a choke point in a way. Or not a choke point, but your enemy does want to attack down this laneway. But there's nothing of substance there, right? Like, there's no sacred site. There's no large gold vein. Imagine it right here, right? Like, that's where you want it. That's the sacred site defended. That's the gold vein defended. That's where you want your landmark. I'm talking about the Great Wall Gatehouse, by the way. You don't want to put, like, the Spirit of the Way back there. It's not going to work. All right. Well, at this point in time, Divine definitely has the advantage with him. We can see he's got about a 700 score lead. Shogunate coming through. Shogunate Castle is complete. And have a look at that right there. Looking absolutely beautiful. That's the way you want to do it. You see the way that he's got the... Is it double Shogunate Castle? Fair enough, mate. All right. Jeez Louise. This guy is booming. What's the oh my, yeah, look at the income. 3,000. And you can see by the way that he's got the farms positioned. Have a look at this. This is perfect. All of these farms, they get a big golden tick. All the farms around the TC here get a golden tick. These 4 don't get a golden tick. You want a house right here in that pocket. But this house right here, it's feeding all of these farms perfectly. This house here, feeding all of these farms. They're having a good time. It's exactly what you want to see. But now, in the back of the base comes arguably one of the best landmarks in the game currently. This is the Tanegashima Gunsmith. West side, under attack. More units in the middle of the map beginning to build here. He's got plenty on the front. And we get to see one of the most overpowered units in the game about to grace the field here. The Tanegashima Gunsmith comes online, and immediately the Ozutsu come out. Does he throw one in queue? Ideally, you want to throw them in queue straight away as well. You want to get them working. You just don't... a lot of people will forget that you have the ability to train the Ozutsu here as well as use the tickets for it. So that's important to remember. But now it gets great value. And this is part of the reason why Fast Imperial with the Japanese, in my opinion, is a viable strategy. It is because you get immediate value from the Tanegashima Gunsmith. You age up and then you can straight away use 5 tickets. And it's expensive, right? Like the stuff that you're getting here is really, really good. 240 resources on all 5 of these units. You're talking about a $1,000 or 1,000 resource rebate. That's pretty good. All right, so he did go for that Great Wall Gatehouse in the center here. Once again, I'm just going to reiterate. It looks cool, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Melee unit starting to build. He's looking for the elite upgrades. Have a look at this. Elite Horseman, Elite Samurai, Elite Spearmen, and Elite Archers. Oh no, that's going to be Elite Onimusha rather, coming out here. So we could potentially see some Onimusha out on the field. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. The Onimusha, a very powerful unit. But one of the things to note is they're not quite as strong as the crossbows. What they lack in attack, they make up for in speed. But head-to-head, the crossbows will defeat them. Got the same amount of health. I'm not sure what the attack speed is, but I do know that their numbers. I think they're 2 less damage than their opponents, which does kind of stack up when you think about it, because the whole idea of a crossbow is to go through the enemy armor. So every little bit of damage, every point of damage helps a huge amount. But now Milithorn going to be looking for units anywhere he can attack with his army. He's max 200 out of 200. So's his opponent. And now we start to see the Japanese Imperial upgrades coming through. We got Nagayari coming in for increasingly stronger spears. We got Yaki Aya coming through. Look, don't yak my yum, that's what they always say. But look, 4 out of 4 ain't too bad here. And now Divine's put himself in a bit of an awkward spot. I don't like this. Reinforcements that will come from the south inevitably against units that will crush him from the top. Not to mention the fact the Ozutsu in the back are just going to be... Look at the Ozutsu dishing that damage out right there. Not even close. Nest of Bees teeing off. He doesn't really have any way to deal with these Nest of Bees. I mean, he's got Samurai, and as long as he maintains this kind of split formation, he should be fine. He has backed away from that front, which is definitely the right call here. Now we see the Bannermen are out as well. Have a look at the damage bonus these guys pick up. +6. You know, nice and easy there for you. Upgrades on Divine's side coming through, though. It's going to be Pyrotechnics on the way, as well as elite upgrades for our Palace Guard and the extra health as well. And now, once again, looking to hit this outpost. I feel like a sense of danger almost right now for DFP. He's got to be careful because there's units on the south. He's caught between a rock and a hard place, and indeed that's what it's going to be. Milithorn looking to engage. 76 versus roughly 70 population. And now he's got a beautiful concave here. The question's going to be whether he looks to try and fight. And you can see Milithorn making a bit of a mistake. He wants to try and get onto the backside here. He needs to make a connection with these Nest of Bees. Oh, look at this. Look at this. And oh my god! Did you see the Nest of Bees? I'm losing my voice over here. Oh, the Ozutsu from downtown blitz them, but Springeld's nailing them out. Crossbow's actually cleaning them up, and just when I thought this unit was absolutely busted, Chinese comes out and it's like, hey, I don't know if you've heard about this unit we've got, but it's called a Nest of Bees, and it absolutely blitzes the field. And then the horsemen arrive. Onimusha here to help out as well. Let's do a little bit of a stat compare. I want to compare the pair right now. The Onimusha compared to the crossbow. You've got elite crossbow, 15 plus 2 at the moment. Onimusha, 13 plus 8. I tell you what, they got a little bit more damage at the moment, because I guess you got other ways you can buff them up. Of course, I didn't even think about that. You got the Bannerman to help them out. Hand Cannoneers joining the field. Now DFP looking to really start pumping out that infantry. Nest of Bees still somehow managed to stay alive throughout all of this. I am impressed. I am significantly, sincerely impressed that he has managed to keep these alive this whole time. Let's have a look at the economies. You know, they talk about economies of scale. Oof. Tell you what, that's some farms right there. That's some economy. And now, he's got to be careful. The castle is coming up. You're in one-shot territory right there, my friend. Big attacks coming off. It looks like the elite Palace Guard is left with a little bit left over. Vils jump inside. He could look to try and pick off some of these siege. Indeed he does. Good night, sweet bee, he says. Oh man, you love to see it. The castle is just holding strong right now. It's kind of funny that the castle's not available in the Castle Age. You got to wait till the Imperial Age to get it. But once you get it, boom, boom, baby. Boom, boom. Nest of Bees going down on the backside. No Nest of Bees left out for this party. And the Ozutsu, you can hear them firing off every chance they get. Sounds so good. It sounds so good. You just want to make sure you bring them back. I think that's the key with the Ozutsu. You got to have them bringing back. You got that little Bannerman as well for a bit of extra attack. Why not? Keep going to, or rather, a secondary castle getting thrown down on this west side. He knows if he secures this, it's going to give him a great foothold towards the gold, towards the small gold as well. It's a wonderful little spot. And now have a look at the difference in military. 75 up against 26. He's done an incredible job here, but DFP is going to have to head back to the drawing board. And this is the consequence of going for hand cannoneers, because hand cannoneers are such a gold-intensive unit. You're paying 120? I think it is 120 for every single hand cannoneer. And so just in the long run, it's going to really struggle your gold. Palace Guard numbers looking to build, though. You're making Palace Guards up against the Samurai, and I think that's the scariest part. This is a unit that does 25 damage with a bonus 4 damage against infantry. That's 29 damage against a Palace Guard that does 16 damage. After armor, you are talking about double the damage. The Samurai does literally double the damage. Look at this. 29 against the 8 armor. 21 damage. And then 16 against the how much armor? Are there any Sams left? I don't think there are. More coming out. More coming out. Looking for them. There they are. 8 armor. Once again, what did we say? 8 armor against the 18? 16. I mean, technically 17. He doesn't have elite army tactics, though. Important to note. So this isn't... It's not a true representation. Whew, I tell you what. I wish I hadn't started this casted game without a drink nearby. I'm sitting here. My throat's getting a little bit raspy. I'm wishing I had something in hand. If I could pick right now, I'd go for like a Gatorade or something. That'd be perfect. All right, well, Bombard joining the field here. DFP on the defense once again. He knows how important it is to hold this position. You know, just when we were talking about the significance of gold at this stage of the game, now you can see how important this is becoming and why Melathorn is fighting so heavy, so tooth and nail to secure this position. And he's doing a wonderful job. Nesta B's firing off into the Azutsu mass. He's got 12 Azutsu, one of the best units in the game. Needs to continue kiting back, and that's exactly what he does. I'm almost tempted to say with Azutsu, because of how good that they are, like you almost want to pair healers with them. It could be really decent to go into healers, like monks or something, Shinto priests, just to make sure that they're maintaining that full health. I mean, they've got a fair bit. 160 is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. Another castle going to be coming up here. I don't even think, yeah, DFP doesn't even see this. He's done it well, sitting behind these stealth forests. But with this cleanup, you can see that they're kind of rallied towards this position. They might spot it out. Indeed, they do. Oh, it's perfectly timed. The keep is, unfortunately, castle's going to get cancelled away from here, but the Yozutsu are going to be moving back around towards this position. Tries to jump them into the outpost. He will have success here. And now the Yozutsu start to rise. He's got, how many has he got out on the map at the moment? 11 out on the map currently. And the economy, I mean, you can feel the power of the Japanese economy. Look at the range of the Azutsu. You got to be careful out there, boys. Look, Azutsu, wake up! No, not like this, Azutsu Melathorn. Oh, you are the chosen one. And unfortunately, they all go down. Keep in mind, you're up against hand cannoneers with a range of 5.5. The Azutsus have got a range, if I remember correctly, of 6. I want to say 6. There's none on the field at the moment, but I'm going to say 6 range. It could also be 5.5, though. Man, look at the size of those spears. Oh, I didn't even realize the Great Wall Gatehouse. Of course, it's online. Treb's working it down, exactly what he needs to be doing. He's obviously spotted this one out. Nesta B's doing some work. The Nesta B's in placement on that Great Wall Gatehouse. I tell you what, that would make... I'm kind of surprised they didn't give that to Juicy's Legacy, but I guess you've already kind of got it from the Byzantines, the Mangonel in placement. So having like a nest of bees in placement on your other building, that would be so overpowered, man. Nest of bees in placement is actually ludicrous. This thing is so damn good. It's indiscriminate, the damage that it provides. It's just like, we kill everything. Our preference, it's to kill everything. I could have made a joke there about the people who are attracted to everything, but I don't know what the term is, so I'm just going to leave it. Anyway, pretend that I did. That was a good joke, Drongo. Thanks. All right, on the backside. Not a lot of firepower here. With the Azutsus being taken out, though, it means that not having that back line, the front line will fall a lot faster, because we can compare it to what DFP's got. He's sitting on 22 hand cannoneers. This is absolutely fine for him. He's loving life at the moment, 1,600. And look at this wall. This wall's really important. You want to know why? The trade post. He needs to get this wall up and ideally wants to try and deny his opponent any kind of access from this wall. And you can see how important it is for him to get up this stone wall as well. Really needing to clean this out. The Bombard here should be able to solidify the position. But once he's managed to get control of the trade post, expect to see markets in the corner. Expect to see stone walls across the entirety of the map if he hasn't already done it. He has. He has. He's absolutely fine. A little bit of a hiccup here in the middle, but he'll be okay. The trade needs to come, though. It needs to come thick. It needs to come fast. Dobbs looking towards the outside there. Still a bit confused about what they want to do. But they've decided they're going to take out the Onimusha at the back. I tell you what, this is a ludicrous game. We've just got non-stop production fighting up against each other. Let's have a look at the bases and see. Oh my god, I completely forgot about the Yoroshiros. Oh, I completely forgot about the Yoroshiros. Oh my god, look how many he's got right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this one. What's his gold income? He's got 18 bills on gold. It's kind of hard to know exactly what we're talking about, but I can tell you right now, with 75 each, he's making 450 gold for free from this landmark. And keep in mind, this is the landmark that keeps on giving. The longer this game goes, the better it gets for Melathorn. This is part of the reason why I think Japanese is one of the best Imperial civilizations, because as long as you can survive the early part of Imperial, I feel like it's just a matter of time until you just win in the late part of Imperial. Sure, the game's going to go for 2 hours, but at the end of the day, you've just got infinite gold. Like, quite literally infinite gold. He's got 5 relics as well. Keep in mind, he's got tithe barns. These bad boys are just pumping out non-stop. And keep in mind, this can be countered. All right, because DFP needs to be thinking about this. He needs to be thinking, okay, well, my opponent probably went for the floating gate. They have the Yorishiro. They're going to be putting those Yorishiro into forges somewhere. I need to be taking those out. And that's why often I posit that you should be looking to stonewall in your forges. Because at the end of the day, 10 fire lances run through, hit this, come along the edge of the map, go, oh, a Yorishiro in a forge. Don't mind if I do. Dead. Next one. Dead. And they just take it out. Very, very quickly. Not much you can do to respond. And once it's gone, it's gone. It's just like her. I miss her. I'm just kidding. I miss her. She's upstairs at the moment. She's gone when she closed the door. She didn't bring... Boo, if you can hear me, bring me Gatorade, please. I'm struggling in here. She'll hear me. She'll bring it. All right, well, Onimusha numbers starting to build here. I'm liking this combo. You know, often we talk about the cavalry combo that the Japanese can do. They can go into mounted samurai together with Onimusha. We talk about the infantry combo that they can do. They can just go complete samurai together with the bannerman, throw in a spearman or two, and of course, the Onabagatti. But rarely do we see this combo. It is the crossbow men-at-arm combo. And we've got 2 unique units for it. We got the samurai on the front, we got the Onimusha on the back. And it looks like at this stage of the game, he is absolutely cleaning house with this. He is having a beautiful time. And now towards the middle of the map, we got ourselves a castle that's coming up. I'm loving the way that he's just throwing these behind enemy lines. Just puts it up and says, hey, this is another problem for you to deal with, another fire for you to put out when you've got time. Good luck with it. And still on that main front, we can see the power of the Japanese. I mean, he's not even... Look at the gold at the moment. 1,900 gold. Let's compare the pair. 18 vils on gold versus 39 vils on gold. And have a look at the income. It's almost identical. You are seeing the Yorishiro difference right now. This is the power of the floating gate. The true power of the floating gate is now being realized. It is so damn good. Nesta B's continuing to tee off. We're in for a long one today, aren't we? Jeez Louise, this game is going all right. And it doesn't feel like neither player is really giving way. I mean, Melathorn's 200-200. Actually, can I take that back? DFP's at 150 of 200. He does have the 22 hand cannoneers, and I feel like that they are, with regard to population, very efficient and probably worth a little bit more than just your one pop. But oh, the mango comes out, it spots it. He could hit him with an absolute beauty of a shot right here. Now taking the high ground, the second mango shot comes out. He's managed to take out 3-4 hand cannoneers. Define's not paying attention. Just when we were talking about the significance of this unit and how powerful it is, it's like 1,000 resources that just went down. That is what you call a good value mangonel. If you're looking for a 2-for-1, this is absolutely worth the pickup. I recommend mangonels to everybody that I see. What are you having for dinner? I'm having a mango. It's just what you do. Trap number's still looking good. It's alien tech. There's no visible means of propulsion. I didn't see a jet engine on there. I didn't see how it was being propelled at all. And they could just turn. They could just turn. I had no idea what was going on. You'd believe me, but all the photos are blurry. They're not. It's crystal clear. It's crystal clear. All right. Let's check in with DFP. He's struggling when it comes to the food economy. Oh, please. Oh, please, DFP. Please, don't do me like this. Look at the size of this thing. Okay. All right. Children. Adults, let this be a lesson. Let's count. Come on. He's going to come up to 15, and we're going to count. You ready? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm happy to call that 9 seconds right there of walk time. Let's compare it over to this side. Here we go. We'll watch this one. 0, 1. There you go. 1 second. That's the difference right there that a mill makes. Spend the 50 wood, damn it. Spend the 50 wood. Because right now, he's got the production. He can throw that out. He's got plenty of Raxes in the back. The reality is he just doesn't have the resources. 3k food a minute could be 6k food a minute when you see that kind of thing. And it pains me because he's such a good player. And it's such a little thing, but have a look at this. 0 gold a minute at the moment. Where are the Imperial officials? Where does he have the Imperial officials? Surely they should be collecting gold. There's the traders finally coming out, and he's just got to tap out. He says, you know what? I got no gold income. I'm up against infinite Yoroshiros that are just pumping out gold. There's nothing I can do. He had trade on the field, but it was clear he just didn't have the distance. Fellas, go check him out. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.